It's St. Patrick's Day, and those of you who like to pinch people who don't wear green, hear me out here. Last night, I had a dream that I was watching Charmed while eating a bowl of Lucky Charms and holding my 3D glasses, which I consider my good luck charm. So, you pinchers better take that to the end of the rainbow and just enjoy the show because you clicked on this video, okay? Welcome to the show, everybody. I'm your host, Rob Rodriguez. Now, before we begin, I just want to let you know that a bunch of Season 1 episodes were extended over the last week, so now you can see more footage of me being completely random in 2014. How fun is that? Now, an experience, good or bad, can change how you think about things, contrary to how you thought of it in the past. I know I liked McDonald's coffee a lot better before it spilled in my lap. But I'm a survivor. You don't see me bringing out the lawsuits. Can't you just imagine going to the Ronald McDonald's house and then you hand them the papers and say, hey, I'm just the messenger. I mean, maturity takes its time to fully develop. I mean, I'm 20 years old, and you know how I spent last weekend? Home, watching the Kids' Choice Awards. Yeah, quite an adult thing to do, I know. But you know, there are percentages and portions of my life that have grown up. For example, for a brief 2-month period, I gave up Nickelodeon, Disney, and Cartoon Network, so good for me. Anyway, little backstory for you. I started this show when I was still in high school, at 17 years old. And based on my conditions at the time, it really influenced the show and how I took things. Now, what I'm about to do is I'm going to select a couple of clips and basically tell you how I feel now about stuff I felt back then. This should be good. And just to prove it, I'm going to tell you a little personal story that happened to me a few months ago. We were running low on money and I needed to go to the store for something. And so my mom gave me a $50 bill. Now keep in mind, this is like you're shopping for your hangry 17-year-old moments and she gives you a $50 bill. Now what do? You got $50, so you're going to treat it like a credit card. Okay, I can spend this much money. But because how much I saved, I had so much stuff. That's the last time I go into a dollar store with $50 because everything's on sale or very cheap, so you had a lot of stuff you could buy. Now I know why I was always broke. Okay. I became more financially responsible since making that video. I've been happily employed since last November. And really? You want to max out a credit card? You know how much debt you would be in? It's okay, you learn over time. You were still in school back then, but come on, champ. Don't be one of them. What's next? Quick, if you could tell me the 3 Tanner sisters' names without thinking, you might be addicted. Hold on. Hello? And the camera's actually rolling right now, too. That was a little ironic. Okay, I counted. Actually, during that clip, I had to proofread this and make sure it was actually fact-checked properly. And I've been interrupted on air a total of 3 or 4 times. And over time, I learned how to handle it a little better on air. Like, that's the only time I actually let my mom call me while I was filming the show. But there have been times where I've been texted on the air, and this one wasn't handled quite right. Now, of course, being the immature person I am, I'm gonna get you on the phone. I'm gonna start the show and just tell this guy BRB. Oh, that's not all. There was another time I got a Twitter alert during the show. If you're wondering why I'm looking over here, it's because I have a whiteboard letting me know. Oh, but you know, there's video of what I thought in the past, and then we have some thoughts from the past in writing. Yeah, we saw this one other time before, a little over 2 years ago. I just freshly graduated, or was getting ready to graduate. It's all a blur from here. But I thought I'd read more passages from this thing, and see how much my thoughts and mindset have changed. We have the caption, "My life is different genres of TV." Wow, this is misspelled. Because in a lot of cases, my life is like a sitcom. Everything that occurs is very practical and unexpected, and of course I hear laughter in my head. So even back then I was calling myself insane. Pretty cool. So, to be honest, I kept this in a lockbox. It was pretty nice seeing this thing again. I'm gonna need a minute. So, you know the feeling. You played ball in the house and you broke your mother's favorite vase. You ate the last donut in the break room. You ate the last donut in the pantry. What happens now is you're like, oh man, what is everybody gonna think? What are we gonna do? And then you're like a Gatorade commercial. You know those old school ones where people sweat Gatorade? Yeah, you are what you drink. That wasn't part of it, but yeah. Just thought I'd just roll with the punches there. I mean, ever had to keep a secret and then it just kills you that you can't talk about it? I know I have, because when I'm talking to people, you know there's this one thing you really want to talk about. But then you dodge that and you just talk about anything random, or you try to fabricate the story a little bit so you're technically not telling anybody. But in reality, in your mind, you know you're blowing it here. I mean, last video we talked about guilty pleasures, but then there's pleasures that make you guilty, like pulling an all-nighter just binge-watching Friends on Netflix. Oh, I'm gonna be so tired at work, but it's worth it. Tuning into Nick at Night and watching all the episodes of George Lopez They Supply, which is on until about 7 in the morning. I have to drop some mail off, but totally worth it. It's time for that weekly list known as the Possibility List. It's kind of like when you suddenly recall a Disney song. Isn't that a tale as old as time? Hakuna Matata. Okay, this week's list is titled 5 Not Very Helpful Tips for Everyday Situations. This list is completely made up of tips that you're given for problems, but these might not work for everything. Okay, so at number 5, baking soda is good for that. Number 4, plug it out and count to 3. Number 3, some duct tape won't hurt. Number 2, I recommend Reynolds Wrap. And number 1, 5 very unhelpful, not very helpful tips for everyday situations. Rinse it and you should be good to go. Alright, and that is the possibility list for you this week. Well, that is the show for you this week. You know to follow me on social media. At this point, I'd be lying if I told you the Minute Show is coming back. But it should be April 3rd at the latest. So, Stay tuned for that, and I will see you next time. Okay.